Those who want to join the Northwest Rainbow Push Coalition, raise your hands. There's a place for you too. Questions, media? Media?
Is it kind of disheartening to you that we, as a country, feel like we made a lot of progress on divisions and so quickly slipped the other direction?
There's a tug of war for the soul of our nation. We must not turn the rope loose. There's always been the counterculture forces that supported slavery and segregation and sedition. We fought back and we won. We won the battle. We ended legal slavery against the counterculture. We fought to end legal segregation. Right to use hotels and motels and parks. We won that battle. Dr. King gave a speech in Washington in August of 1963. If you were a person of color that day from Texas across to Florida up to Maryland, we couldn't use a single public toilet. Soldiers sat behind Nazi POWs on American military bases. Today we're black and brown. The counterculture has been reactive. And yet, because we would not give up, we prevail. We must fight for the best America. The best America seems to me, is give me your child, you pull your husband masters who yearn to breathe free. We're not going to change America to give me you're rich and you're arrogant and you're greedy. We're going forward by hope and not backwards by fear. As I often say, it's not difficult for swimmers to swim from Britain to France. It's the undercurrent that takes them under. We cannot let the undercurrent take us under. We must keep fighting back for the best. The Portland that shows the Ducks on TV playing for the national championship, black and white and brown together. The Portland that shows the Trailblazers. The Portland that shows Nike and Starbucks, and the Portland that shows the industrial development. That's the best America. The portrait that shows us living together, the brothers and sisters not dying apart as fools. It is that struggle that we engage in today. And we're all hurt by what happened last week. But it reminds us, for those who in a way relax, that there's unfinished business. Yes, ma'am.
Do you think we can change the hearts and minds of people who don't believe in equality?
We may not change their hearts. We must make it illegal for them to behave in ways that are illegal and ungodly. There were those who were fastidious in their commitment to maintain slavery. We made it illegal. Some of their hearts changed eventually. Some of their hearts never changed. Those in the red states who were committed to racial segregation, we first changed the structure. Some of them changed their hearts and their minds eventually. We must change the structure that allows such easy access to weaponry and so much leadership using fear as a weapon for their own aggrandizement. We know it's not right to ban refugees and immigrants based upon religion or color and say ourselves to be Christian. Jesus was a refugee and an immigrant running from a genocide. We know better. We know it's not right to build a wall between us and 2/3 of our hemisphere, and the majority of our hemisphere speaks Spanish. We know better, but there are some who profit from walls. We want to prosper from bridges. That's our choice. Chris? Yes, sir.
You know that there has been a plan for a march next week that has a strong anti-Muslim bias, and it was canceled. Our mayor has attempted to revoke or urge revocation of permits for similar marches, and the ACLU has come out against that. Could you comment?
Judaism, Christianity, and Islam serve the same God. Those who are anti-Muslim are anti-Semitic. They're anti-Christian. We affirm the oneness of our God and our moral high ground. The urge is a matter of tactics. those who want to show their faces
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
to be afraid and full of hate should march by themselves. We should not pour fuel on their fire with our presence. Let them march alone. Don't be present. Our presence becomes the other side of the news. Let them and the cameras show up and have their own movement. We'll have our own day to march, and we will not be afraid. And we will show our faces, and we'll tell the world this is who we really are. So I think when you get into it, America, different people have different points of view and the right to express them. If you really believe in hate, declare it. If you believe in racism, declare it. If you believe in gender bias, declare it. If you believe in exploiting third world nations, declare it. If you believe in polluting the water and the air, declare it. We don't want to give you any company, declare it. We don't believe that. We're going to resist the countercultural revolution coming out of the White House. We think that for people to believe that their strength at the expense of somebody else is fake news. It's not true, it's not right, it's not fair. Yes, ma'am.
There's a counter demonstration, actually several counter demonstrations at this point that have been planned this Sunday in the same location. Would you recommend that people participate in that, or would you recommend that they plan a separate march in a different location?
Well, I would hope that people would know that as a tactic, that those who march for fear and ignorance and hate and violence need a crowd. To give them a crowd is to help to obtain their numbers. I make this case, if you plant two seeds in the ground of equal strength, one side you'll have tall stems and multiples of fruit, and one will be shorter. Taller is not better. It just has photosynthesis, it has sunlight. So let's pull down the walls and build the bridges. On the other hand, behind the wall is ignorance and hatred and fear and violence. We must pull down that wall so as we reduce ignorance and hatred and fear and violence. We have survived the part. The American experiment is a different one, learning to live together. France for the French, England for the English, but America is for those who yearn to breathe free. Ours is a unique experiment. The indigenous peoples have a narrative. Those who face the Chinese Exclusion Act have a narrative. Those who are in Japanese internment camps have a narrative. Those who are enslaved have a narrative. Women who are denied the right to vote have a narrative. We have many, and yet we must somehow find in those narratives what makes us common. Our numerators vary, but our common denominator must be the same. And that denominator of coexistence over co-annihilation and growth over being stunted is our appeal. Last one. I'm going to meet the mayor now. Yes, sir.
What was your reaction and what were your thoughts when you heard about what happened in Portland last week, a week ago today, and why it happened? I mean, what were your specific thoughts about what happened here?
My first thought was unfortunate, morbid. Why not Portland? It's here. Why not Sanford, Florida, where Trayvon was killed? It was there. Why New York City, where the young man was shot in the back at least 40 times? It was there. Why not Ferguson, Missouri? It was there. The sense of our turning on each other, turning on NATO and our European allies, turning on Muslims, turning on Jews, turning on blacks, turning on women's rights, turning on Planned Parenthood, turning on the humanity of LGBT people. That is the prevailing wind of our time. We must resist these anti-forces that marginalized people. America is a one big tent America, all in and none out. That's our dream. That's a tug of war between all in and those who want to put some in, others in the margins. This is our country.
Will you lead us in prayer?
Yes, sir. Shall we stand and join hands and pray? And I just say, because we just shifting, for those who want to join the Northwest Rainbow Push Coalition, raise your hand.
Interfaith Power
Those before you join hands, those who want to join the Northwest Rainbow Push Coalition, raise your hands. Tyrone McGowan.
Never goes back in.
Look, we'll get there, Tyrone. He went to Morehouse College. You can always tell a Morehouse man, but you can't tell him much. We have to visit the mayor now, and then we'll luncheon with the commissioners from around.